Hey there, my fishing friends, fellow anglers, and loyal subscribers. Your expert fishing buddy is back with another detailed forecast to help you land that trophy catch. Get ready, because we're diving deep into the fishing conditions for the week of September 8th to September 14th, 2025. This week promises to be a real game changer in our waters, bringing with it a fascinating mix of early autumn vibes and some truly exciting fishing opportunities. We'll see a dramatic shift as late summer warmth gives way to a distinct September chill, making this a prime time to be on the water. Now let's break down the theoretical base, my friends, and understand what's truly going on beneath the surface and above it. Weather conditions, a week of transition. This week, we are firmly stepping into the early autumn, and the weather in our region is certainly reflecting that. Average temperatures are quickly declining, moving from those comfortable late summer highs into the 50s Fahrenheit, or about 10 to 15 degrees Celsius during the daytime. We can expect morning temperatures to be noticeably cooler, sometimes even dipping low enough for the first frosts in many areas. This cooling trend isn't just about comfort for us, it's a major trigger for fish. Atmospheric pressure will be a bit of a roller coaster, starting off relatively stable, but we anticipate a low-pressure system moving through midweek, bringing with it some increased winds and the promise of rain. Historically, the second week of September can even see the peak of the Atlantic hurricane season in some parts of our vast region, which means higher winds and more substantial rainfall are a possibility, particularly in the eastern provinces. This variability in pressure and wind speed will play a crucial role in how our finned friends behave. When pressure is stable or slowly rising, fish tend to be more active and predictable. A sharp drop, however, often signals an approaching front, which can trigger an aggressive pre-front bite, followed by a lull once the storm passes. Water temperature. The cooling trend continues. As the air cools, so do our waters, and this is fantastic news for many species. We're seeing lake and river temperatures generally dropping into the range of 15 to 20 degrees Celsius in many areas. However, in deeper lakes, particularly for species like Lake Trout, you'll find the cooler zones, often below 10 degrees Celsius, becoming more accessible and preferred. This cooling water brings a significant benefit: increased oxygen levels. More oxygen means more active and energetic fish. As the thermocline, the boundary between warm and cold water, begins to break down in some lakes, fish that were locked into deeper, cooler zones during the summer can now roam more freely, moving between different depths to feed. This makes finding them a bit more dynamic. Moon phase. Waning gibbous wisdom. Our week begins right after a full moon on Sunday, September 7th. So on Monday, September 8th, we are starting in the waning gibbous phase, with the moon still nearly 99.3% illuminated. Many seasoned anglers believe the full moon period and the days immediately following can be excellent for night fishing, as fish feed actively under the bright lunar glow. However, as the moon begins to wane, some fish might experience a slight lull in activity during daylight hours, having fed heavily overnight. Don't let this discourage you, though. The waning gibbous phase often transitions into a more stable bite as the week progresses, especially if other conditions like weather and pressure are favorable. It's all about finding that rhythm and adjusting your tactics. General fish activity. Autumn's abundance. Early September marks a significant shift in fish behavior. This is early fall, and dropping temperatures and shorter days are signaling fish to move from their summer haunts towards their winter hideouts. Crucially, many species are entering a pre-winter feeding frenzy, or fall feeding binge, to bulk up for the colder months ahead. This means fish are often incredibly hungry and aggressive, making it one of the prime times to catch trophy-sized specimens. Cooler, more oxygenated water stimulates fish, making them more active than they might have been in the sluggish dog days of summer. You'll find a wide variety of fish on the bite, including smallmouth and largemouth bass, northern pike, walleye, salmon, and lake trout. This is a period of transition, so understanding where fish are moving and why is key to success. Forecast by species and tactics, your action plan. All right, my friends, let's talk brass tacks. Based on these conditions, here are my top picks for species to target this week and how to do it. 1. Northern Pike, aggressive fall feeders. Where to find them? This is prime time for big pike. They'll be aggressively feeding to pack on weight. Look for them in shallow flats and bays, particularly those with dying weed growth ranging from 5 to 15 feet deep. These areas still hold baitfish, and pike will patrol these edges for an easy meal. Also check current breaks and the mouths of feeder creeks where baitfish might be congregating. On what to catch them? This is the week for big flashy presentations. Reach for large swim baits, oversized jerkbaits, and spinnerbaits with substantial blades. For a real treat, try a bucktail spinnerbait. The key is to match the hatch of larger baitfish they are targeting. My little secret. Don't be afraid to try faster retrieves, especially on days with a mix of sun and clouds. That aggressive, fast-moving lure can often trigger a reaction strike from a hesitant pike. Early mornings and late afternoons will be most productive. 2. Walleye. On the move to deeper structure. Where to find them? Walleye are transitioning from their summer patterns. They'll be moving towards deeper main lake points, offshore humps, and the edges of significant drop-offs. In rivers, look for them holding in deeper channels and around current seams. As water temperatures continue to drop, they'll eventually settle into deeper wintering holes, but this week they're often still quite active in the 15 to 30-foot range. On what to catch them? Jigs tipped with live minnows or plastic swim baits are always a walleye go-to. Vertical jigging over deep structure is highly effective, as is trolling with deep-diving crankbaits that mimic baitfish. Another trick is a bottom bouncer rig with a spinner and a crawler or minnow worked slowly along the contours. My little secret. Pay close attention to your electronics. Walleye often stack up tightly on structure, and finding those schools is half the battle. Once you find them, stay on them. 3. Smallmouth bass, still feisty and hungry. Where to find them? Smallmouth are still fantastic fighters in early September. They'll be holding on rocky points, transition areas where hard bottom meets softer bottom, and around offshore humps and shoals. As water cools, they might move a bit deeper, but they'll still make forays into shallower water to feed, especially during periods of stable weather. Look for them in the 8 to 25-foot range. On what to catch them? Tubes, drop-shot rigs with small finesse worms, and Ned rigs are excellent for deeper smallmouth. For those shallower forays, small crankbaits that dive to about 5 to 10 feet, or even topwater walkers and poppers on calm mornings, can be incredibly effective. Small swim baits are also a solid choice. My little secret. Focus on areas with good forage. If you see baitfish flickering on the surface or on your sonar, smallmouth won't be far behind. These bronzebacks are often chasing schools of minnows, so think about lures that imitate them. 4. Lake trout, cold water, comfort. Where to find them? As the waters cool, lake trout become much more accessible. They prefer the colder waters, generally below 10 degrees Celsius, so you'll find them in the deep main lake basins, especially around prominent rocky structures, deep points, and along the thermocline edges where baitfish might be compressed. They'll often suspend, so a good fish finder is essential. On what to catch them? Trolling is a classic and very effective method for lake trout. Use large spoons, deep-diving crankbaits, or dodgers and flies. For vertical fishing, heavy jigs tipped with a strip of sucker meat or a large plastic grub can work wonders when you mark fish on your electronics. My little secret. Pay attention to the speed of your troll. Sometimes a slight increase or decrease can trigger a strike from following fish. Also, don't be afraid to try different depths until you find where they're actively feeding. Your daily forecast, a week at a glance. Here's my day-by-day breakdown based on what we've discussed and the general trends for this time of year in our waters. Monday, September 8th. Expect good fishing. We're starting the week right after a full moon with the waning gibbous phase, and conditions are generally mild. Pressure should be stable. Active feeders like pike and bass will be out. Tuesday, September 9th. A good day for fishing. Temperatures remain mild and pressure is steady. The waning gibbous moon should still allow for a consistent bite, especially for walleye on deep structures and smallmouth on rocky points. Wednesday, September 10th. A challenging but potentially rewarding day. Pressure will start to drop as a weather system approaches, bringing increasing winds from the west or northwest. This pre-front activity can sometimes trigger a strong bite for aggressive fish like pike and walleye, but it might be short-lived. Stay alert. Thursday, September 11th. Prepare for weaker fishing. The low-pressure system is likely passing through, bringing cooler temperatures, strong winds, and perhaps some steady rain. Fish will likely be hunkered down and the bite will be tough. Focus on deep presentations and slower retrieves. Friday, September 12th. The bite will be average, improving through the day. Post-front conditions, clearing skies but still cool and breezy. Pressure will be rising steadily. Fish might be sluggish in the morning, but should become more active as the pressure stabilizes and they recover from the storm. Target deeper holding fish. Saturday, September 13th. Good fishing day. Stable, cooler temperatures and steady high pressure after the front. This is a classic fall fishing day, perfect for all our target species. Pike will be aggressive in the weeds and walleye will be hitting jigs on structure. Sunday, September 14th. Excellent fishing conditions. Mild weather returns with light winds and continued stable pressure. This could be one of the best days of the week for a variety of species. Take advantage of the pleasant conditions and hungry fish. Wrapping up, my friends. There you have it, my fishing family. Another week of exciting possibilities on the water. Early September in our region is a truly special time, with cooler air, increasing fish activity, and the chance for some truly memorable catches. Remember to adapt to the conditions, stay safe out there, and most importantly, enjoy every moment. Before you go, make sure you hit that subscribe button, give this video a big thumbs up if you found it helpful, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming forecasts and tips. And tell me in the comments below, what are your plans for this week? What species are you hoping to catch? And what's your go-to fall lure? I love hearing your stories and seeing what works for you. Until next time, my friends, tight lines and ni fosta, ni cheshwi. May your reels be screaming and your nets be full.